With the release of the Pascal GPU series, Nvidia created a new technology to solve the issues of VSync, fast sync. Now, it is available through the Nvidia control panel if you have a Pascal GPU, a 1070, a 1080, and soon enough once that gets released to 1060. But you can also use this on older cards since it's something related to the drivers. So, in order to understand what fast sync does, you need to look at VSync. We use VSync to prevent screen tearing if a game is running above your monitor refresh rate. So say you have a 60 Hz monitor, you should have games running at 60 FPS. If a game is running above that, use VSync to limit it. The problem with that, with VSync, is that you get input lag, so it's not desirable. In fact, quite frankly, playing with VSync is a disease. It's unbearable, at least for most of the games that I've tried it with. So I don't like doing it, and a lot of people prefer to go with the tough, but you get screen tearing as a result of that. Now, Nvidia created G-Sync to deal with this, and to also deal with the situation where you're getting lower FPS in the game. But part of what G-Sync does is when you're playing at an FPS above your monitor refresh rate, it limits it so you don't get screen tearing. So you'll no longer you have the advantages of VSyncs with none of the disadvantages using G-Sync. The problem with G-Sync obviously is that you need specific monitors, a lot of which are very expensive, and quite frankly, I'm not interested in playing at 1440 Hz anyway, or at any of the resolutions that they have on those monitors. I'm not willing to spend that kind of money, and a lot of people aren't. So one of the things Nvidia does with the Pascal series is make that driver based with their graphics cards. It's not hardware based with the cards, it's drivers. It's in their drivers, and because of that, people with older cards can also use it. People have been able to get it even on Kepler cards, I believe. I know, for instance, that on Maxwell cards it works. I'm not so certain about Kepler, I don't have a Kepler card, but some people have mentioned that it does work. So how do you use it? How do you use fast sync, and what does it do? Well, fast sync doesn't have the input lag. It does have a bit over not using VSync, just a tiny bit, but nowhere near comparable to what you get when you have VSync enabled. And it has no screen tearing. It might create some stutters. That's not an issue with using it on older cards. That's just an issue with the way it is. It has been getting better and better with the new drivers that they've released. But the way you install it, the way you get it to work on older Nvidia cards is you download the Nvidia inspector. I'll provide the link in the description. Update that to the latest version. Then go to vertical sync, global profile, base profile. And then here you select this option. This is the option for Nvidia fast sync. You select this, you apply changes. All right. Once that's done, you go to the Nvidia control panel to make sure that it has been applied. What you should get in Manage 3D Settings is a custom setting for vertical sync, and with that you will have fast sync. Now, does it work? Yes, I've tested it out on my computer. It does work. I get a lot of stuttering because I have a GTX 980 and a lot of games run above 60 FPS, and I have a 60 Hz monitor, so I get a lot of screen tearing. I've checked this out. No screen tearing with it. Now, the gameplay footage that's in this video was recorded before I even found out about the fix. I just found it out about it recently, just looking at stuff on the internet about GPUs since the RX 480 has been released. But that is a way to get it to work. There don't seem to be any problems with the older hardware, but there doesn't seem to be a problem with the fast sync itself. It's not perfect, but given the fact you can just use it for a driver and you don't have to buy a monitor, and it is arguably far better than VSync, it is worth going for if you absolutely hate screen tearing, which I personally do, but I absolutely hate VSync as well, so I'm not fond of using that. So yeah, that's one thing. Now, if only Nvidia could enable this through the Nvidia control panels and not force us to use Nvidia inspector. See, this is one of the marketing things Nvidia did. It's like, oh, buy the Pascal series, GPU series, and you get this technology. It's a marketing point for them. Except this technology works on older GPUs, and we're not going to enable it for the control panel because we're interested in selling cards. Really, Nvidia, of all the things you've done. And by the way, I like a lot of things Nvidia does, but this is a scummy decision. Maybe there are problems, who knows? There are people who are reporting stuttering, but there are people who report stutters on GTX 1080s and 1070s. So it's not something limited to the older GPUs. That's all I have to say on the subject. Hope this helps you. Costin signing out.